Hi, I'm John.
Hello, I'm Fred.
You are a moron.
You are a knucklehead.
Oh no, definitely not.
Agreed. We're not having any of this.
Wait, what the?
Yeah, what he said.
Now, John, Fred, we are not going to have you ruining our podcast with that rotten language.
Yeah, eat it, you old coots.
Now, honey.
John, don't you now honey me.
Yeah, and you listen up too, Fred.
Hey, what did I do?
You were standing there.
Now, you both get on up out of here and get back to your own podcast. This one's ours.
That's right. Get your hairy butts back to your dusty farts.
Yeah. Brian said we get to do our own podcast this week. So you two head on home and argue about raisin bread or something.
Fine.
All right. Hey, John,
Oh, Lord.
you know what honks me off about raisin bread?
Please don't.
It's the raisins. They're already shriveled, already suspicious, and now they're sitting there steaming it up right inside bread like they earned it.
I think they're finally gone. Those two are about as shriveled emotionally as those raisins.
And about as dry as stale toast.
Exactly. I know just what you're talking about. It's so amazing that we think so alike.
Well, it's really not surprising considering our names and our beginnings.
Meet Suzy and Suzy, best friends, lifelong co-conspirators, and unquestionably the better halves of John and Fred.
Much, much better.
And like John and Fred, these two have enjoyed a lifelong friendship. It began back in 19-something, when both were born not only on the same exact day, but at the same exact hospital.
She beat me into this world by a couple of minutes and has never let me forget it.
She was 5 minutes late then, and it hasn't gotten any better.
It was about the last time they showed up apart. From the very start, they were meant to be best friends. They spent their first few days lying side by side in neighboring cribs in the preemie ward. They shared lunches, gossip, and boyfriends all through grammar school, and later ran the drive-thru at the Dairy Queen with surprising professionalism as high schoolers at Maple Grove High.
Get your dilly bars.
4 for only $5.
The biggest difference between the two is how they spell their names.
I'm Suzy, with a Y.
And I'm Suzy, with an umlaut.
Well, you always did have to be a little different. Go on. You've got him interested. Tell him what an umlaut is and why you use it.
An umlaut is 2 little dots over a vowel in some languages. It doesn't change how my name is pronounced, just the vibe. It makes it feel more European or something.
Yes, you heard that right, an umlaut. But having her vowels accessorized still wasn't enough, because Suzy also insists on spelling her name differently every time she introduces herself.
So just how are you spelling your name today, dear?
Capital S-O-U with an umlaut, X-I-E Suzy.
And I'm sure that won't lead to any confusion around here.
Well, Hope, you've been able to narrate the mass confusion that is the lives of John and Fred. I think you'll do just fine.
To be on the safe side, I think I'll call you Suzy, and I think I'll call you Umie.
Whatever, dude.
All right, we've got you two established and properly introduced, which means it's time for the most important part of any new podcast, the name. Now, Brian did make one request. He said it really ought to rhyme with Dusty Farts, since this whole thing is technically a spin-off of that little train wreck.
Well, you guys did call me Chatty when I was younger.
We still do.
Okay then, Chatty something.
All right, Chatty Hearts.
Nah, that sounds medical.
Okay, Chatty Carts.
Sounds like a shopping problem.
Chatty Parts?
Too geographical.
Chatty. Tarts.
Oh, hey, yeah.
That one feels right.
'Cause you really do like tarts.
I really do. Apple tarts, sweet tarts, toaster tarts, dandelion stem tarts.
You probably want to know what dandelion stem tarts are, don't you? No, you don't.
Well, there you have it.
Chatty Tarts.
It rhymes, it's accurate, and it's a little unsettling.
Which, as it turns out, makes it perfect. So, here's a little jingle I whipped up with Suno.
Fairy lights hum in a tangled row. Glue sticks melt nice and slow. Buttons pop and the scissors bite. Crafts get bright in the soft moonlight. rhinestones saved from another year, pressed in place with hope and cheer. Old denim shines like it never could, bedazzled, bold, and feeling good. Scissors singing in the soft moonlight, Snark and Sparkle combine just right. Step inside where the magic starts. Everyone's crafting with the Chatty Tarts.
Welcome to Sparkle Snark Studio. While John and Fred insist the polyester lounge is a perfectly acceptable home base, this is the magical kingdom where rhinestones reign supreme and restraint was politely asked to leave. Once upon a time, this space was just a 60-year-old garage. Concrete floor, bare walls, the faint smell of lawn equipment and neglect. Then Suzy and Umie rescued it.
It was crying out for Sparkle. Loudly, I heard it.
Now, stepping inside feels less like entering a structure and more like wandering into a craft store that achieved sentience. Every surface glimmers. Shelves sag under the weight of glitter jars, each sorted by color, cut, mood, and vibe.
There was a plan. It lasted 6 minutes.
Strings of fairy lights zigzag overhead like they were installed during a sugar rush. The walls are layered, painted, sparkled, sealed, and sparkled again, until even the shadows seem decorative.
Don't touch anything unless you're emotionally prepared.
Work tables crowd the center of the room, scarred with hot glue drips and embedded rhinestones, each one a fossil from a previous creative emergency. Bins of crafting supplies are stacked with alarming precision. Every bead, post, sequin, and microscopic fleck of glitter has a place. There's a low hum in the air, not electricity, anticipation, the unmistakable energy of a space where ideas are born loudly, frequently, and occasionally on fire. It's a workshop? A think tank? And, according to local geological studies, this amount of polished stone would normally require a mountain range nearby. Stepping through the ornate entry, it is clear to see that this is all the work of graduates of the Institute for Reflective Materials and Optical Distraction Sciences.
Glitter tech is what they call it. It was where we matriculated after Maple Grove High.
Now, mind you, this was during the height of the bedazzling and adhesive Renaissance, a pivotal moment when the ancient art of making things sparkle finally clawed its way into the modern era.
Look, everybody was getting swept up in the bedazzling movement back then. Some people joined bands. Some people grew goatees. We applied rhinestones to household objects with purpose.
At the Institute, they were taught the fundamentals, beginner and intermediate glue bonding, post-handling and recovery, and of course, the full tensile spectrum of the top 50 non-organic adhesives.
They taught us that bedazzling isn't a modern craft. It's a deeply human behavior.
It's really just the uncontrollable urge to put tiny, shiny things onto other things, to express identity, status, or a strong opinion about who you are as a person.
From the very beginning, it was less about decoration and more about declaration. And boy, did the two Suzys bedazzle. Every term paper, every group project, every frog dissection. If it sat still long enough, it got rhinestones. If it didn't sit still, it got more rhinestones.
The frogs were very dignified about it.
The faculty, less so, because it didn't stop with homework. Lockers shimmered, clipboards sparkled. A janitor's keyring once refracted light so intensely it caused a brief evacuation.
We were experimenting.
Unsupervised.
By their second year, the Institute realized something important. These weren't accidents, they were incidents, and so the curriculum adapted. Both Suzy and Umie went on to earn a Master of Decorative Arts with a focus in emergency glitter response, a program designed specifically to handle crafting situations that had escalated beyond optimism. It was a discipline built on triage, containment, assessment, and knowing when to stop bedazzling just before things became structural.
You learned to listen to the glue.
The coursework covered rapid response rhinestone deployment, adhesive failure analysis, and post-event cleanup strategies that assumed the glitter would never fully leave.
Rule number 1, always bedazzle away from your face. Rule number 2, If something starts smoking, that's information.
Graduates of the program didn't just decorate, they stabilized. They didn't ask, should this sparkle? They asked, can we survive if it doesn't?
That is so true. We don't just make things shiny. We are continuing humanity's oldest tradition, making everything fabulous.
And yet, the world does not go quietly toward fabulousness. Not one bit. In fact, it often resists. It hesitates. It clings desperately to beige. Sometimes it has to be dragged, kicking and screaming, toward good, proper, fully committed sparkle. And that usually happens right about the time someone shows up needing help. Just like our first visitor now.
Hello, comrades. It is very good to see bedazzled side of Booth Brothers.
Well, hi there, Dr. Bobby. You're looking lively today.
Uh-huh. Unnecessarily vigorous.
And for those of you just joining us here at Chatty Tarts, allow me to clarify. Dr. Bobby is a physician, of sorts. His credentials vary, his accent wanders, and his methods are, well, enthusiastic.
I begin to work before paperwork is finished.
He operates a mobile medical practice, a bus actually, and offers treatments that exist somewhere between preventative care and performance art.
He's helped a lot of folks around Maple Grove.
And confused just as many.
It is true, but today I come not as healer. I came to work this morning on my moped and noticed that someone has written on the side of my blood bus.
Written what, exactly?
Yeah, what did it say?
Dr. Bobby's rolling vein drain extravaganza.
How rude.
Shocking.
At first, yes, very shocking. But then I look closer. The color scheme is bold. The font is playful, yet confident. I believe this is what youths call graffiti.
Oh my, that kind of mischief usually doesn't happen around here. But unfortunately, when delinquents like that Curtis get...
Oh no, I love it! It is rebellious but also medically supportive. It communicates urgency and whimsy. In fact, I would like to take it further. I want to bedazzle blood bus. How much cost?
Unfortunately, there is no amount of money you could pay us for that particular service.
Really? Is task so difficult? So expensive? That cannot be done?
Pfft, don't be silly. It's not that. We're just not allowed to sell any bedazzling services.
Unfortunately, Suzy is right. John and Fred agreed to the Sparkle and Snark experiment on exactly one condition. Sparkle and Snark Studios cannot legally exist.
No money.
No employees.
No invoices.
No receipts.
No paper trail.
Just sparkles and vibes.
Which means no official transactions of any kind. However,
we believe after checking with Clifford Booth and the Maple Grove Subcommittee on Tariffs and Trade-In, that bartering is just fine.
Yeah, we're just very old school.
Ah, yes, barter. This is very good news. In Madagascar, where I am from, this is how most important things are exchanged. In fact, it is how I get most of my medical equipment.
Dr. Bobby was, in fact, delighted. Barter meant trust. Barter meant relationship. Barter meant nobody asking follow-up questions.
All right then, what do you have to trade?
I have been working on something very special. A new strain of rye bread.
Of course you have.
It is extremely dense. I dropped a loaf once and cracked a tile.
Interesting. Does it hold shape under pressure?
So impressively.
Perfect. We can use it as a rhinestone weight during curing. I'm on board. Hey, Darlene, help us figure out a good equivalency.
Yeah, Darlene. What would be a fair trade in rye bread for bedazzling the blood bus?
Meet Darlene Gunderson, pride of Fergus Falls, Minnesota. She is practical, she is unflappable, and she says oofta the way other people say prayers.
Oofta!
Darlene has an exceptional head for numbers, an unsettling memory for inventory, and a strong emotional attachment to clipboards. And because Sparkle and Snark Studio cannot legally have employees, Darlene is, technically, still an intern.
12 years, 10 months, 4 days, and 5.3 hours.
And even though she is unpaid officially, without Darlene, this entire operation
Goes sideways, don't you know?
Exactly. She knows where everything is, every post, every rhinestone, every microscopic square of glitter that has ever entered this building.
Hey, Darlene, do you know where we keep the ultrafine prismatic posts?
Oofta! top shelf, third bin from the left, behind the emergency sequins. Let me fetch that for you.
Yes, skateboard wheels, because there was a brief time, after Minnesota, before spreadsheets, when Darlene was once a skateboarding queen down at Venice Beach.
I landed more than I didn't.
Darlene handles the books, inventory, supply restocking, and historical recall of every major project.
Including the Bedazzle-mobile? That's why I'm here.
Especially the Bedazzle-mobile. The Bedazzle-mobile is the only concession John and Fred ever made when it came to owning or operating any official Triple S equipment.
It's a 2004 Pontiac Aztek.
It sure is. Now, how can I properly explain the Aztek? Let's see. The Aztek is squat and chunky, with a tall nose, awkward angles, and plastic body cladding that appears to have been added mid-argument. Its rear end can't quite decide whether it's a van or a wagon, and the split rear hatch gives the whole thing the unmistakable energy of an experimental prototype that somehow escaped into the wild.
It looks ridiculous.
It looks like it was assembled from leftover parts.
It looks like it belongs to the Munsters.
Officially, it's a crossover. In practice, it reads like a very confused wagon. And as with most things, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because each of the four saw something different the first time their eyes lit upon the future Bedazzle-mobile.
Isn't it adorable?
I see cargo space, practicality.
Tinted windows, squirrel surveillance.
High walls, big butt, infinite surface area.
Only Suzy saw the true value of the vehicle. Not transportation, not storage, real estate.
The Aztek gives you roughly 300 square feet of exterior surface, just begging for decoration. That's a noticeable increase over most comparable vehicles.
That's quite a large, rolling, never-ending canvas just waiting to be bedazzled, beautified, and taken several steps too far. And so, they did.
Oofda! It took 16,000 rhinestones, 9 pounds of adhesive, 1 regrettable mirror mosaic.
This car is basically our mission statement on wheels.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Of course, Sparkle has mass, and rhinestones, despite their cheerful disposition, add a lot of weight real fast. By the time the Bedazzle-mobile was finished, it was no longer just stylish. It was denser. So Fred did what Fred always does when confronted with an engineering problem caused by creativity.
He overcompensated.
The suspension was reinforced, the shocks were upgraded, the brakes were improved, and several conversations were had that began with, "I don't love this, but..."
It now runs the quarter mile, respectably.
Respectably enough that you do not want to race us for pink slips.
You really don't. And just like that,
Crafting emergency.
Darlene, kill the alarm and check the big board.
Oofda! It's Mildred Brown's house.
Mildred Brown? Oh no, we have a rogue rhinestone.
Isn't she hosting a pampered chef party today?
She is, and she is scheduled to unveil her new presentation bag at precisely...
Don't say it.
At 2:45.
Oh no,
Yeah, if even one rhinestone is missing from that bag,
the light won't hit right,
the angles will be off.
and the confidence cascade collapses.
a single missing rhinestone, barely visible to the untrained eye, but to Mildred Brown and to the fragile ecosystem of a suburban pampered chef party, it could mean disaster.
Suzy, we simply can't tolerate this.
I know, it's time to be fabulous.
To the Bedazzle-mobile.
Oh yeah, there goes the only vehicle in town better than my bus.
And so, with Sparkle in their wake and glue guns at the ready, Suzy and Umie do what they do best: ignore restraint and make it beautiful. Results may vary. Cleanup is unlikely.
Yo ho ho, a one-eye biny scallywag special.